Oh, UFC, where did things go wrong? In today's video, we're going to talk about Henry Cejudo, comparing the whole UFC 282 fiasco with a previous fight that happened not too long ago. Spoiler alert, pink hair. And not just that, we took a look at some detailed footage of Cejudo training with Demetrious Johnson, so we thought about throwing it in the mix too. Let's dive in. First things first, C for controversy. With Paddy Pimblett's recent victory came a lot of talk about his opponent being robbed by the judges. Henry Cejudo, a former UFC flyweight and bantamweight champion, recently shared his thoughts on Paddy Pimblett's victory against Jared Gordon at UFC 282, and it caused a stir in the MMA community. Many spectators, commentators, and combatants have argued that Gordon was the more worthy winner, as even the fighter himself has said that he felt cheated by the unexpected outcome. The Baddy had successfully defeated every UFC opponent he had faced before. However, Gordon's extremely strong left hook and relentless wrestling plainly alarmed him in his promotion's first ever pay-per-view match. Triple C recently posted a video to his YouTube in which he discussed his immediate, somewhat horrified response to the outcome. He compared the contest in his post-fight analysis to Sean O'Malley's divisive victory against Petr Yan at UFC 280. At this point, we think Henry just wants a reason to criticize Sean. Following up, not a popularity contest. Henry Cejudo, while taking a dig at the judges, added to his statement by saying that the UFC wasn't a popularity contest. The former gold medalist at the Olympics was thrilled by Jared Gordon's offensive performance, as he didn't notice anything good about the vibrant Scouser other than him having a chin way too sturdy. On top of that, the American was kinda at a loss of words when Pimblett asserted that he had dominated Gordon and was irritated at the robbery accusations. Cejudo directed his words at the Liverpool native, saying that many people like Paddy are just deluded, and suggested that he should re-watch the fight as there was no way he had won. Moving up to Triple C, comparing similar instances. After bashing the Baddy, Henry added to his words by saying that when such things happen on a regular basis, it shows bias. And look, guys, the last time it happened at UFC 280 with the Sean O'Malley and Petr Yan thing, it took the fun out of the whole event. Cejudo criticized the judges even further, saying that he was going to dye his hair blonde just so he could get that preference when he was going to go against Sterling. Sugar's heated altercation with No Mercy caused shock when Sean's hand was lifted. In the days that followed, a number of ideas and controversies surrounded the organization and its boss, Dana White. Yan even went so far as to say that because of it, he could quit the UFC, while O'Malley, for the most part, has avoided discussion on the subject and advised anyone who was dissatisfied with the outcome to appeal to the judges. Backing it up further, let's talk about Dana's opinion. Man's been dodging bullets like it's one of those Matrix movies. Back when the whole O'Malley controversy started, Dana didn't seem overly thrilled. At the UFC 280 post-fight press briefing, Dana expressed his opinions on the subject, saying that the judges' evaluations of the match were entirely at odds with his assessment of how it went. But now that people are starting to see the pattern, and as things are starting to slip out of the UFC president's hands, he might have to make things right. After 282, when asked about fight rigging in a sit-down interview with ESPN, White responded that the whole thing with the investigations is now a huge concern for the UFC. Dana went on to say that now that an inquiry was underway, it was extremely possible that such a thing could have actually occurred. Adding to his words, he said that with the controversy heating up more and more, it was high time people learned their lessons, as they kept advising fighters to save themselves and avoid gambling. He further said that it's an addictive thing and that everyone gets caught in it, adding that people have been crossing every limit of stupidity to do something so brutally totally dumb. Things always get back to you one way or another. You know, people always get caught. And hear us out. This is also from Dana himself. The culprits getting caught will end up in prison. No, not jail, prison. There's a difference. Not to forget, let's hear from the Scows himself. Pimblett couldn't believe that fans were calling his fight fixed and thinking that Jared Gordon was robbed. Literally, before he was told by the media how the audience was reacting, he was seen backstage celebrating. It was cut short and left him quite speechless. To all of this, his thinking was that it may be because people just hate him. Anyway, during the post-fight interview, the Scows remarked that out of all the things, he was more than a little irritated about everyone believing he lost. He added that all he had to do was accept that there were gonna be detractors and move on with his 4-0 record. When Pimblett entered the Las Vegas Stadium as the event's breakout star, he received a walkout meant for headliner status and was applauded by thousands of spectators, many of whom were sporting Pimblett. The crowd roared as Pimblett's victory was announced. However, some boos here and there could be heard. Whatever the divide was in favor of and against him, the UK celebrity could not escape the reality that the judgment of the fans was clearly against him. Coming up, while we're collecting more opinions, let's hear Rogan's too. We have established one thing, right? The UFC doesn't come without its fair share of controversy. Many UFC fighters, including Dominic Reyes and Michael Chiesa, believe Jan won the fight. The fight was a 3-round war between two of the most dynamic strikers in the bantamweight division that exceeded expectations. Despite the positive reaction to the fight, the official decision remains the most talked about aspect of it. Yes, it caught more attention, as there was a crystal clear difference in the fighters. Rogan, who doesn't appear on international UFC broadcast, didn't attend UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi. Yet he did give an opinion about what happened between Jan and O'Malley. He believed the judges made an error in their decision, and that following the Jan and O'Malley controversy, the MMA scoring system has remained a hot topic. Some have advocated for an open scoring system, where fighters know where they stand on the scorecards in between rounds. Rogan, a veteran of UFC broadcast, stated that changes are needed so that contentious decisions like Jan versus O'Malley become rare. And look where we have come again. However, the debate can be easily resolved with a simple rewatch, according to the new #1 ranked bantamweight. What else? One judge might be in trouble, and emphasis on the might. The one thing that's on everybody's mind is whether the Athletic Commission will ever end up taking any action against the judge, Doug Crosby. Hear us out. And we think it's safe to say that the Nevada Athletic Commission will probably do nothing, judging by their track record. Just like the previous matters of suspicion, Pimblett will manage to keep his valor alongside Doug Crosby. One thing's for sure, no big fight promotion is going to be having Crosby sitting at their judging table anytime soon. And after looking at the state of things in the industry right now, there's not much anybody can do. We guess it's sad that the relevant authorities don't seem the least bit interested in changing the system or bringing about change for the better. For the next segment, Demetrious Johnson and Henry Cejudo's joint training video. Henry Cejudo and Demetrious Johnson have recently formed one of the most unexpected yet lucrative teams. When DJ was preparing for his rematch with Adriano Moraes at 1, the two former UFC foes recently reunited and are now working out together, so it appears. In a recent video posted to Johnson's YouTube channel, the two top competitors can be seen practicing their skills together and sharing tips and tactics. It's fascinating to watch Cejudo and Johnson impart knowledge to one another, where Triple C is teaching wrestling setups and Mighty Mouse is practicing submission moves. The video's intriguing title was along the lines of DJ and Henry getting ready for their battles, as Johnson just confirmed his third bout with Adriano Moraes. However, Cejudo hasn't competed, as he retired 2 years back. The video demonstrates that he is already getting ready for a fight, and there are speculations that he will make a comeback to face UFC bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling. At 1 on Prime Video 10, which will mark ONE's first appearance in the US, Johnson will aim to defend his freshly acquired ONE Flyweight World Championship against Moraes. The trilogy finale will be one of the most eagerly awaited fights of 2023, after both men scored spectacular finishes in their initial 2 bouts. Demetrious Johnson says that he started acting differently and has been prepared more than ever for the rematch with Adriano Moraes. Recently, Demetrious Johnson described the changes he made to better prepare for his rematch with Adriano Moraes. Lastly, more from DJ. Demetrious Johnson recently made his first public disclosure about how losing his sister had compelled him to make some adjustments in his life during an appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast. He said that the second time he faced Adriano, it was his toughest training camp, and he talked about how he has been able to remove some of the burdens by enjoying everyday life and training more. He said that since his tragic loss, he had changed, as he used to strive to be perfect, making himself refrain from drinking and partying. Johnson said that he recently attended a concert and had a couple of drinks, as he now wants to have fun in his life. He added that he didn't want to be in his last days with a miserable life where he didn't do things he wanted to. Finishing his words, he said that this one horrible experience in his life changed his whole outlook on the world. Not only has he become a better athlete, but he is happier with this attitude in life. More power to you, DJ. Anyway, that's a wrap for today's video. Are you also seeing the controversial pattern in the UFC? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to drop a like and make sure you're subscribed to our channel for more videos like these. Having said that, see you in the next one. Peace.